My name is Connor Power. I'm the CEO and founder of Interpreter Intelligence. So my journey began back in 2000 when I came to the US from Dublin, Ireland. I grew up in a seaside town by the name of Portmarnock, a suburb of Dublin, on quite an idyllic village. I graduated from computer science in Trinity College. I did a master's in computer science, and of course, in 2000, if you may remember, was the height of the dot-com boom. So I came at the very peak. May 2000 is when I arrived and saw the dot-com crash from then for a couple of years. So that was quite an experience. My undergraduate degree is in applied mathematics, and then I did a master's degree in computer science. So for me, being a software engineer, obviously Silicon Valley is the heart and the hub of innovation, certainly back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it still continues to be to this day. So I was very interested in seeing if I could pursue my interests there. Applied for a few jobs back in 2000, was fortunate to get a number of offers. And that was the first impetus to actually move here to the US. So after having worked for a number of years for a number of large software companies and consulting organizations, software consulting organizations, I was at the stage where I really was interested in doing my own thing, seeing if I could build a company, if I could build a product that people that could help people grow their business. In parallel with that, I have a sister-in-law who is the owner of an interpretation company based in Ireland. They're probably one of the largest independent interpretation companies in Ireland. And my knowledge of the language service industry was that it was very large. As they say, it's the largest industry that no one's ever heard about. It's also very fragmented, so a lot of small regional players. So it's ripe for consolidation, ripe for disruption. So that was my initial interest. Couple that with a passion for technology, building good product, connecting with customers. And then thirdly, my sister-in-law, who I mentioned, they had a need to have a product just like this, and there was no off-the-shelf solutions at the time, particularly in Europe. So we had the three: my interest in technology and passion for technology, the language industry market being really ripe for disruption and innovation, and thirdly, I had a willing and able first customer to actually build a product with and for. So in some ways, it was the perfect storm of my motivation, the market, and having that customer to roll out the product to. One of the challenges with starting the company was the question about whether we should get outside funding. So we chose very purposely to bootstrap the company. That allowed us to take a very measured approach to what we were doing, to attract customers and to spend the necessary time to understand their needs, understand their requirements, and build it into the product in a safe and measured way. There was always the risk that if we went for funding, that the company could be at risk at some point in the future. So we purposely decided not to do that and took this measured approach. And I think it has been an important part of our success to date because we developed very close relationships with those early customers. We continue to do that. And we spent the time to basically understand their needs, understand their requirements, and build a product from that. Many people watching this are likely entrepreneurs themselves or folks who have started companies or are now in leadership positions in companies. And I think we'd all agree that one of the hardest things working for yourself is at the start, that initial uncertainty as to where this is going. Is it going to be a success? So we're talking about like the first 3 to 6 months or the first 12 months. You invest a lot of time, a lot of effort, you give up a lot of opportunities that may otherwise be out there to focus on this and to go all in on it. So I think at the start, that's likely the hardest thing. As the company then develops and matures, which we've been very fortunate to have done over the years, we now work with some pretty big marquee clients. The next hardest thing then is really about time management. So as a company owner, and especially as someone who's been very involved in the building of the product, you need to be able to hire the team around you that can grow the company. So you want to get out of the weeds, which is easier said than done, allow the team to focus on what's important to them, have them be motivated around what they do, and then for you to take a step back and focus on the bigger picture, focus on making sure the team has what they need to do their job effectively. There's no blocks in place. So I think for me as an engineer prior to starting this company, that was probably a learning process for me, to see that growth from early on, hiring the team, and then basically letting the team excel around me. So for me, I think the thing I'm proudest about is, first off, building a successful company with the customers that we have. It sounds like a bit of a cliche, but it really does resonate for me. One of the most rewarding things I've had from doing this is the interactions that I've had with customers over the years. So, coming from big software organizations to then selling a product that I'm very involved in to small, mid-size, and large language service companies has been an awesome experience. You have conversations with people that are non-technical, they've run their business, they've grown their business, they've been successful. And I found really, truly have found that to be the most rewarding and continue to be the most rewarding. I think a close second then is building the team that we're fortunate to have within Interpreter Intelligence. That's all the way down from the tech support folks who do an awesome job to the senior engineers, to the marketing folks. I do feel very privileged to work with such a great group of people, and I'm excited by that continued growth in the future. We frequently get asked during the sales process or at conferences, what is it that makes Interpreter Intelligence unique? So there are 3 areas that we consider to be our critical success factors. First off is that we're trusted. So all the way from the largest language service providers in the world, in North America, USA, Canada, UK, and Ireland, they trust us with their business, all the way down to the small mom and pop shops that have chosen to work with us. Secondly, we've got a very thorough product. If you look at the breadth of features that we provide, all the way from scheduling to workforce management to customer relationship management to financial management, we have a product that works and is highly configurable. And thirdly, it's a tailored solution. So you're not forced to work in a certain way. We have options where you can turn on certain features, turn off other features, and you can adopt it to the way that you want to work. If you have a need or requirement, there's a way to enable that or disable it within the product, and we're very proud of that. So I think really at a high level, it's those 3 things that have made us successful and been a key part of our success and will continue to be in the future. So building that close relationship with customers, gaining that trust, having them use the product and gain the optimizations from it and efficiencies, and thirdly, them being able to then tailor the product to their needs, I think is key. Of course, everybody's aware that we're in the middle of a pandemic and hopefully the tail end of a pandemic now in February 2021. And the big elephant in the room, of course, has been the on-site interpretation business was impacted very significantly last year, continues to be. We have seen a rebound in that, but there's been a flip to, of course, the on-demand remote side of the interpretation business, both from a video perspective and also an audio perspective. So both video remote interpretation and over the phone interpretation have taken off like wildfire fire last year, and we have been fortunate to benefit from that as well. So when you consider the breadth of the product, again, we have the scheduling system, managing interpreting services, but we also offer VRI and OPI solutions embedded into the product. So our customers can basically tap into that video remote interpretation for their own customers and also over the phone. So we've seen a significant uptick in that over the last 12 months or 9 months, and I think that will continue into certainly the second half of this year. I think it's going to continue to grow. Now, the reality is I think that that's probably here to stay. We're expecting to see a little bit of a tail off on that as things return to normal when the vaccine is rolled out. But when we look to the future, I think the on-site, the VRI, and the OPI are going to be critical components of an integrated solution, and we'll continue to put our focus on those. We're very excited for what the future holds, both in the short term and in the long term. And more significantly, we have some really exciting things coming through the pipeline over the next 4 to 8 weeks that we're very excited to share with you. I won't give more details at this very moment, but we will be sending out a number of communications around these new features that are coming very soon, and we'll be holding a number of webinars to promote them. So we look forward to our existing customers leveraging those features when they come out, and also to prospective customers to see the added value that we're adding to the product on an ongoing basis. The last 9 months have brought both challenges and rewards for all of us. From a business perspective, from a social perspective, and from a society perspective, I think we've seen the challenges that have been put up. But taking a positive spin, me personally, I think it's been a very rewarding experience to be working here at home. Hopefully what you've heard over the last few minutes has been that we have a very singular focus on our customers. We want to be challenged by our customers. We want to be pushed by them. Little did I know that our most challenging customers live within the same house as us. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old and a loving wife who happen to be the most demanding customers one could ever imagine, and I'm very thankful for that. We hope to connect with you soon, remotely over the next shorter period of time, or in person if the end of the year permits, or certainly the year after.